I want to talk to you about how to set up direct deposit for employees. So this is a small business payroll guide, and we're talking about direct deposit. So let me give you the overview you want to pay attention to. Many employers and small business owners, they need options when it comes to maintaining payroll processes and paying workers. That's for sure, right? So although paper checks are still an acceptable form of compensation, digital and electronic payments methods offer increased flexibility. You have convenience and you have security also. So the direct deposit process is one way to deliver payment quickly and efficiently, and this can be every week, every 2 weeks, or every month, depending on the frequency you pay your employees. So in today's conversation, we will look at how direct deposit payment works, the steps required for setup, and the benefits of using payroll software for your business. But it's really important for me to actually talk about a few things first. Direct deposit helps maintain detailed financial records. Direct deposit helps businesses save employee hours in preparation and streamline their payroll processes. Employees and payees appreciate the convenience and immediacy of direct deposit. And direct deposit is an eco-friendly office practice, saving money on checks, printing costs, envelopes, and postage. And what I want to say here is that everything depends on how you set up your direct deposit processes. But first, let's go back to direct deposit itself. What is really direct deposit? Well, direct deposit is an electronic transfer of funds that is made from a payer directly to a payee's bank account. So it's often used by an employer to pay the wages or a commission of an employee, but can also be used for regular payments of any type. And so it is a safe and reliable process that can deliver funds electronically to specified bank accounts instead of using a physical paycheck. So this process depends on a stable and secure electronic network to move money from one party to another. And standard income is not only the only application for direct deposit payments. You might be able to receive direct deposit funds if you have an expected tax refund and choose this method through the IRS filing process. And you expect to receive investment funds or payouts from retirement accounts. And you have incoming funds through programs such as Social Security. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. Make yourself comfortable. We are going to have a wonderful conversation about how to set up direct deposit for employees. Before I get into the actual step-by-step, I want to answer a few questions that our viewers have sent to us when it comes to setting up direct deposit for employees. And the thing is that it does cost money. It does cost money to set up direct deposit, but the cost can recoup in the long run when you really think about it. Cost includes payroll software and the bank fees involved in the transfer. And so the thing here is that if you need, in terms of what you need to set up direct deposit, well, a few essential items are needed, including funds in the bank account, of course. So if you have a small business, you need to have funds in the bank account that will be debited, and you need to have the correct information from each payee regarding their financial institution. In other words, each payee will have to send you their ABA number, their routing number, the name on the account. And again, we're speaking about financial institution. This can be a bank or a credit union or another financial institution. And you can actually set up your own direct deposit. Yes. So with the help of payroll software, you can set up your own payroll process quickly and easily. And your bank can also help and steer you in the right direction. And the thing is that if we're talking about how small businesses use direct deposit, it's important to understand that the proportion is really hard to find, but based on our research, not only based on our own business clients, we have seen that 80 to 83% of small businesses use direct deposit. The direct deposit service is the most popular payment method, so even small businesses have jumped on board. And this is kind of cool. And you need to understand that you don't have to offer direct deposit. If you are a small business owner and you want to hire someone, a direct deposit is not a benefit, quote unquote benefit you need to offer. It is optional. It is something you are offering. It's all about the convenience here, okay? But it's you will find out that it's not just it's a win-win for you. It's a win-win. It's a win for you. It's a win for your employee, because the employee is getting paid faster. The employee is not having to take a check and deposit that check in his or her bank account. Things are happening electronically. It's just fantastic. By the way, boss, I want to remind you of today's topic. We're having a conversation about how to set up direct deposit for employees. Let me give you a bonus here. There are some benefits of using direct deposit. I mean, you might be thinking, well, I think I know already, but you'll be really surprised. You'll be really, really surprised. So there are many advantages to using payroll direct deposit, both for the employer and the employee. First of all, direct deposit replaces manual processes. So having to perform compensation manually can be tedious and draining on staff resources, especially if you are a small business or a micro business. If you have a small team and your team is already busy with actual stuff, actual business stuff like generating sales. So you do not want to actually allocate people onto the direct deposit or the payroll processes. So preparing paper checks is also a time-consuming task, particularly for large companies. Direct deposit replaces manual options with a more hands-off system. Direct deposit promotes employee choice. So when staff or team members choose direct deposit, they can often add bank account details for both checking and savings account. So this allows employees to take control of their financial health by automatically sending money to savings. And direct deposit also saves money on preparation and postage. Think about it. So you as a small business owner, you are saving a lot of cash here. Printing physical checks and paying for letters and stamps can really add up. I mean, you might be thinking, well, this is only 35 cents or 75 cents per stamp. But listen, if you add this up by 1,000 and you do this every 2 weeks, this can add up. So you reduce postage and needless administrative cost with the use of direct deposit services. And what we love about direct deposit also is that it is an eco-friendly process. As more companies promote green initiatives, reducing paper use is an environmentally friendly choice. So the bottom line here is that don't just say, I'm a small business, I do not need to set up direct deposit. No, direct deposit, it doesn't matter. It doesn't care about the size of your business. Big business can use direct deposit. Large, small businesses can do the same thing. Mid-sized businesses can use direct deposit as well. It's a win-win-win situation. It's win for you as a business. It's win for your employees. It's win for the government because they're getting paid. They are getting paid quickly. So this just is also great for society as well. Let me give you a certain approach here and sort of explain to you how direct deposit works. So the thing here is that direct deposit works by using encrypted electronic communication between the financial institutions of the payer and the payee. So if you're a small business, for example, and you set direct deposit, you're going to have to, and let's say you are with Chase, you have a business account at Chase. What will happen is that the direct deposit will use encrypted electronic communication between Chase, your business bank account, and you, the payer, okay? And also you have a third party in this equation, that is the payee. The payee is your employee, the person you're paying every 2 weeks or every week or every month. So if an employee would like to use direct deposit, the employer collects and saves his or her bank account information. On paydays, the employer sends instructions to their bank to start the payroll process. The bank, in turn, leverages an electronic network called the Automated Clearinghouse, ACH. So when banks use the term ACH payment, they are referring to funds that transfer electronically through this network. And the ACH sorts the information and routes the transfer to the proper bank. And the bank then deposits the funds into the account of the employee. So you can see how things work electronically, seamlessly, and automatically. And successful transfers only happen when both the payer and payee have accurate bank routing and account information on files. This is why if they're asking you to have your routing number or your ABA number, this is quite essential. And of course, successful transfers will also happen if there is enough money in the payer's account, right? So, which means what? If you have a small business, you need to make sure that you need to designate an account specifically for payroll. Do not mix payroll, the account where you actually draw payroll with your general operational account. It's just best practice to have a business payroll account, and you only take money. You only fund that account once a month or once every 2 weeks, and that account is only for payroll. So once a payment is issued through the ACH network, funds are deposited at midnight on the business day of the payout. The transferred funds automatically clear, meaning there should not be a hold on the money after it has been transferred. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We're having a conversation about how to set up direct deposit for employees. Now, let me talk to you about the steps you need to follow if you want to set up direct deposit. Remember that direct deposit is great for you, for employees, and the environment and society in general. Establishing the foundation for payroll transaction is a shared responsibility between the payer and the payee. And so the payer has an obligation to initiate the framework, and the payee, in other words, the employee, should provide accurate bank account information. So when we talk about setting up, here are the steps you want to really follow. Number one, you want to choose a payroll service provider. So a payroll service provider can be a great help in organizing and streamlining the payment of your employees. As a business or organization, you must first establish the ability to perform direct deposit through your normal software. So you can use QuickBooks, it can be FreshBooks, it can be anything. Okay. And so what you want to do is you want to have a software that allows you to have an easy to set up payroll service that provides direct deposit as one of its core functions. And then alternatively, you can work directly with banks and financial institutions for setup and approval. So that's the first step. Choose a payroll service provider. Step number two, you want to establish a company payroll account. That's what I was just talking to you about earlier, right? A specific business bank account is required to make direct deposits. This account must be set up to make successful ACH transactions regularly. Additionally, it is kind of crucial that the available funds are present before completing a payroll cycle. Step number three, you want to send a direct deposit authorization form to employees. So an authorization form is one that an employer sends directly to each employee, typically upon hire. At a minimum, the form should request an individual's contact information, bank account number, and routing number. A voided check can also be attached to the authorization form, and some authorization forms ask for your social security number for further identification verification. The next thing you want to do is you want to verify correct account information. So once an authorization form or direct deposit form is received, the payroll or finance department must upload this data into the payroll software and update the direct deposit schedule. At this stage, you want to check for any significant errors, missing numbers, or incorrect account information. Failure to do so means that the employee's bank account or checking account will not receive money, which you don't want anyway. And then the final thing is you want to run standard payroll process. So after completing the former steps, the direct deposit setup is ready to go. The last step is running the typical payroll process based on the payment schedule of a given employer. So whether this is weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, the direct deposit system does not change. Here is the decision for you. Are there any downsides to direct deposit? Because not everything is perfect in this life. So it's really important to understand that when we talk about payroll, when we talk about direct deposit, there are, of course, a few downsides. So what are the few downsides that you need to be aware of? Some employers feel a loss of control and the loss of the personal satisfaction of giving their employees a check at the end of a pay period. However, as your business grows, embracing change and anything that will streamline your process and improve efficiency is important. Although there are many perks to implementing direct deposit, there are a few negative aspects to consider. For example, we have potential overdraft fees. So careful maintenance and upkeep of the payroll bank account or savings account is required to ensure adequate funds for each payments are present. So overdraft fees are always the responsibility of the payer, not the payee. So make sure that you set up an account and you fund that account regularly. And so there is no option to stop payments. Unlike physical paper checks, you cannot place a stop on an electronic transfer once it's been initiated. If errors are made, they must be corrected after the deposit clears. Employees must start over when changing banks. So while this is a minor inconvenience for most, a new authorization form is required every time an employee wants to switch or update their account of choice. And there are also possible banking security risks. So although ACH is actually a secure method, collecting account and routing numbers is a sensitive process. And it's important to handle this data safely and securely to avoid unauthorized access to account information. Also, you need to think about cost and fees because using direct deposit necessitates having a reliable direct deposit provider who deposits money into your bank or a credit union. This service is generally an administrative investment. In addition to the software and payroll provider cost, ACH transfers may incur banking fees as a small percentage of the transfer. Although minor, this can range from a few cents to a couple of dollars per check, and businesses should be aware of these changes in order to maintain accurate books. I want to give you a few pro tips as we're about to wrap up this conversation about setting up direct deposit for employees. Let's talk about employees versus contractors. And is direct deposit different for contractors as compared to employees? Well, it really depends on the kind of vision you have. Both employees and contractors will likely appreciate this service, okay? And because both employees and independent contractors are eligible, of course, for direct deposit. There are minimal differences in the process between the two types of payments, but essentially they are similar. For contractors or freelancers, enrolling in direct deposit may be a simple matter of preference. For example, contractors may choose to be paid into their business account. And so regardless of employment status, the ACH network transfer for each payout is the same. The main difference is that contractors will not have a W-2 on file, so verifying identity and contact information is important when making a payment. And also you have to think about what kind of tax setup you want to have at the end of the year when you have to file your taxes, your business taxes, okay? But other than that, there's no major difference. So just kind of recap to this conversation. Before implementing any payroll process, you need to set aside time to evaluate payroll software options and learn how certain functionalities work. This onboarding process will allow your business to handle many different types of financial transactions easily. Direct deposit is one way to actually capitalize on accounting software's benefits and reduce the time and effort spent on manual processes. And you really want to go that route. Again, I don't care how small your small business your business is, or if you have a micro business, a 1-person business, or 3-person business, or 5-person business, direct deposit is the way to go. And so to activate direct deposit, you want to follow a particular payroll provider's directions and setup process, or you can just contact your bank or credit union, because banks and credit unions also provide that service. And for added protection, always maintain a detailed set of financial statements to illustrate and document your company's payroll processes, because at the end of the day, the money is coming out of your business bank account, your payroll bank account. So you want to make sure that you want to reconcile that bank account regularly, so you are clear that there's nothing fishy going on here. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was just talking to you about how to set up direct deposit for employees. So I gave you the overview. I explained to you what direct deposit is. I give you a bonus in terms of the benefits of using direct deposit. And I give you the step-by-step you need to follow if you have to set up direct deposit. Thank you so much for your attention. God bless you. I'll speak to you another time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.